Good evening and welcome to Icutv main news. Let's take a look at the top stories making headlines. HH urges financial sector to back energy projects. Miss Charm Zambia 2025 finalists visit ICU on sponsorship tour. Chawama woman jailed 5 years for assaulting boy. In international news, Greece battles worst wildfire surge of the year as blazes erupt nationwide. In sports news, Samukonga claims 400-meter victory in Budapest ahead of World Championship. Presenting the news, I am Yamba Margaret, and now the news in details. President Hakainde Hichilema has urged the financial sector to actively support energy projects as part of efforts to boost Zambia's economic growth. He noted that recent reforms, including open access policies in the energy sector, have created opportunities for financial institutions to invest in viable and bankable projects. The country continues to face challenges in power generation and transmission, making investments in energy infrastructure a national priority. With improved power supply, President Hichilema said economic activities, particularly in mining, while copper production is projected to hit 1 million metric tons by year-end, would expand significantly. He also pointed to agriculture and digital transformation as critical areas for financial support. The remarks were made during a meeting at State House with Access Bank Chairman Iboje Imokwede, who pledged up to $100 million in financing for strategic investment in energy and agriculture. Access Bank Zambia CEO Lishala Stumbeko revealed ongoing partnership with IDC subsidiaries and plans to eject 450 million kwacha into the local economy. Presidential advisors Jito Kayumba and Pamela Nankamba reaffirmed the government's commitment to microeconomic stability and sustainable growth, commending Access Bank's expanding role in Zambia's development.
It was really good, extremely good. So I want to thank my colleagues, the presidents, the government and the people of Namibia to allowing you to serve and to stay here for 6 years almost. So we benefited. I do believe Namibia benefited as well. Mutual. I also want to step aside and appreciate the work that you've done whilst here, serving here at different levels. Yes, government to government, but business to business, operations, the Walvis Bay facility the minister has talked about. I remember one of my first visits when I was elected was to go to Walvis Bay. Obviously later on I strayed into Swakopmund, and those are very important places to us. Our Walvis Bay corridor, extremely important. And the work you did there to support us, bring to order the operations and financial issues around our tripod there. I very well appreciated the turning of the Katima-Mulilo border, Namibia, Zambia border, Katima-Mulilo Sesheke, into a 24-hour service. We need to credit this ambassador, this High Commissioner, for that work that you did. It's those things that many people don't pay attention to. High Commission that matter in developing our relationship, deepening our relationship, trade, investment.
Miss Charm Zambia 2025 finalists visit ICU on sponsorship tour. Finalists of the Miss Charm Zambia 2025 pageant visited the Information and Communications University ICU in Lusaka as part of a sponsorship and empowerment tour aimed at promoting education, innovation, and women's advancement. In his welcoming remarks, ICU Registrar Dr. Saikorak Sindlovu said the university takes pride in embracing platforms that promote critical thinking and community engagement. He urged students to think beyond their fields of study and tap into opportunities that broaden their intellectual horizons.
You can imagine, Information University partners with ZRDC. ZRDC University also partners with our colleague from Russia. And now we are partnering with you, and so on and so forth. The point is, in whatever we do, let's remain focused while we're collaborating with each other. Because together we can achieve a lot. This is why our departure from this body is not the end of collaboration. It's not the end of remaining focused. Especially for those of you who are going to compete. Do the consultation. What can I do in order to come up? Where is that, my friend? Someone has to inherit her position. And it's not easy. Remain focused. Consult. Be creative. So that at the end of the day, we can add value to our country. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, ICU Vice Deputy Chancellor Dr. Chawama reaffirmed the university's dedication to supporting community-led innovation through the Zambia Research and Development Center, ZRDC. He noted that such initiatives empower young minds and strengthen national development.
Fundamental principle is the ability to let people begin to ask questions. You know, research, the term research is a syllable with two functions: research, to re-study, to re-look, to refocus. So we are giving each and every.
A 23-year-old businesswoman of Chawama, Naomi Chileshe, has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for unlawfully shaving a 6-year-old boy's head with a razor blade after luring him to her shop with the promise of sweets. The boy was accompanied by a friend who fled upon seeing Chileshe begin cutting the victim's hair. The incident was reported, leading to her arrest and prosecution. Lusaka resident magistrate Crispin Hampungani handed down the mandatory minimum sentence, citing Lusaka resident magistrate Crispin Hampungani handed down the mandatory minimum sentence, citing the seriousness of the offense and lack of explanation or remorse regarding the motive. Despite her lawyer's appeal for lenience based on her status as a first offender and a mother, the court maintained that the assault on the child warranted a custodial sentence. We now take our first set of commercials. Please stay tuned for more news.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Cabinet approves $2.4 billion industrial park to create nearly 10,000 jobs. Cabinet has approved the designated of land owned by the wonderful group of companies in Chilanga District, Lusaka Province, as an industrial park, a development project to attract $2.45 billion in investment and create nearly 10,000 jobs. The park is expected to significantly reduce Zambia's dependency on imported fertilizers, glass, and phosphate products. It will also support technology transfer, industrialization, and energy generation. Among the jobs created, 800 to 1,000 positions will be reserved for chemical engineers. The project includes construction of an 85 megawatt thermal power plant, of which 45 megawatts will feed into the national grid, and 40 megawatt plant at the phosphate products factory, adding another 15 megawatts to the grid. Cabinet also approved a 200-hectare multi-facility economic zone in Kafiwa district. This zone will attract $300 million in investment and over 2,000 jobs in manufacturing, including electric vehicles and tipper trucks. Other approvals include appointments to the Zambia Law Development Commission, adoption of a national corporate governance code, appointment of honorary road traffic inspectors, and new regulations on housing oversight, funeral expenses, and pneumocyosis-related charges. Infrastructure development key to economic growth, says Melopi. Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles L. Melopi, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to infrastructure as a critical driver of economic growth. During a tour of the Kasomeno-Mwenda toll road and bridge project in Luapula province, the minister expressed satisfaction with the progress of works, highlighting the project's role in transforming communities. The project includes 92 kilometers of road construction on the Zambia side and 94 kilometers on the DRC side, supported by key infrastructure such as housing, health posts, and police stations. The initiative has created employment for many locals and is being implemented under public-private partnership module to ensure timely and high-quality delivery. Melopi underscored the benefits of infrastructure development, which includes township, housing, schools, supermarkets, police services, and economic expansion driven by improved connectivity. The Kasomeno-Mwenda toll road and bridge project stands as a symbol of government's broader vision to unlock economic potential through strategic infrastructure investment. PACRA advocates for intellectual property awareness and innovation protection. Deputy Registrar in charge of intellectual property at the Patents in Companies Registration Agency, PACRA, George Lufia, has reaffirmed the agency's commitment to supporting junior engineers, technicians, and scientists through the implementation of the National Intellectual Property Policy. Speaking at National Science Center yesterday, Mr. Chilufya echoed that PACRA's role goes beyond organizing innovation-focused events, extending to identifying inventions with potential for intellectual property protection. He notes that the agency is particularly interested in innovations that are novel, possess an inventive step, and can be industrially produced, with some qualifying projects being offered free IP protection services. Mr. Chilufya expresses optimism that these innovations will eventually be commercialized and become products available on the market. He further announced a collaborating effort with the international partners to establish intellectual property clubs in secondary schools, aiming to introduce IP concepts at an early stage. Mr. Chilufya says as part of this initiative, teachers are being trained to understand IP and help identify protectable student innovations, adding that PACRA hopes these efforts will lead to the integration of IP into the national curriculum, fostering innovation and contributes to the country's economic development.
So we are here as part of our function to implement the National Intellectual Property Policy, which requires us to support the junior engineers, technicians, and scientists. Now, our support to them starts with the organization of events such as this one, but in addition to the organization of the events, and perhaps more importantly, is to identify inventions or innovations that can be protected through intellectual property protection services that we offer. So we are out here looking for those inventions that are capable of being offered protection services, those that are new, those that are, that have an inventive step and can be reproduced in, industrially. In other words, from what the pupils are exhibiting, what is it that is new enough, that is good enough for us to offer protection services to? So we've gone around and we've seen what the pupils are doing, which is very brilliant, and it's something that requires our support. So we'll offer free protection services to some of the innovations that are being exhibited here, and then ultimately we hope that these will be commercialized and they'll be created into products that will find themselves on our shelves, that will find themselves on the market for us to be able to access these products and enjoy what they are meant to be for. So this is why we are here as the Patents and Companies Registration Agency. Things that we are doing is in collaboration with some of our international partners is to establish IP clubs, intellectual property clubs in secondary schools. So we want to catch them young, and this project has already started. We are training teachers so that they appreciate and they understand what intellectual property is. And then from there, we'll be able to, with that knowledge, the teachers will be able to identify those innovations that can be protected by way of providing intellectual property.
You are still watching Icutv main news. We take a short break, and coming up next is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Welcome back. In international news, Greece battles West wildfire surge in the year as blazes erupt nationwide. Greece is facing its most challenging days of the 2025 wildfire season, with firefighting authorities reporting 82 new fires in a single day, described as exceptionally high amid worsening weather conditions. Strong winds, searing heat, and prolonged dry spells have intensified the crisis across the mainland and islands, forcing evacuations and triggering dramatic rescue efforts. Particularly severe fires are burning near the city of Patras in the Peloponnese, as well as in the Preveza in the northwest and on the islands of Zakynthos and Chaos. On Chaos, the Coast Guard evacuated dozens from Linia Harbour due to suffocating smoke. Fire Brigade spokesperson Vilis Bathrakogiannis said nearly 5,000 firefighters and 33 aircraft were mobilized to combat the fires across at least 6 major regions. 13 firefighters have sustained injuries, including burns. Officials warned that Wednesday would remain highly dangerous, with temperatures expected to reach 34 degrees Celsius and wildfire risks at extreme levels in most regions. We are still in international news. Israel bombards Gaza City as UK and allies demand action against unfolding famine. Gaza City has come under intense air attack, the territory's Hamas-run civil defense agency has said, as Israeli forces prepare to launch an operation to take over the city. Mahmoud Basel, a spokesman, said the residential areas of Zenton and Sabra had been hit for 3 days, causing massive disruption to civilian homes, with residents unable to recover the dead and injured. Meanwhile, the UK, EU, Australia, Canada, and Japan issued a statement saying famine is unfolding in front of our eyes and urge action to reverse starvation. They demanded immediate, permanent, and concrete steps to facilitate the entry of aid to Gaza. Israel denies there is starvation in Gaza.
Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Ngenia Febamoyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through. Did you know that mental health conditions are treatable and recovery is possible? Hi, I'm Ngenia Febamoyo. I'm your host on Let's Talk Mental Health. I invite you all to this show where you freely express yourself, and together we find a solution. For more details, you can contact 0777 93 73 92, and we'll be there to help you find solutions to whatever you're going through.
Welcome back. In sports news, Samukonga claims 400-meter victory in Budapest ahead of World Championship. Zambia's sprint sensation Muzala Samukonga has claimed victory in the men's 400 meters at an international athletics meet in Budapest, Hungary, clocking a season's best time of 44.11 seconds. The 22-year-old Zambian National Service Staff Sergeant dominated the race with power and precision, finishing ahead of a competitive international field. The win comes as Samukonga continues to build momentum ahead of the upcoming World Championships. Ranked Africa's #1 and the world's second fastest 400-meter runner by the World Athletics, Samukonga trails only Britain's Matthew Hudson-Smith this season. His latest triumph adds to a decorative career that includes a Commonwealth Games Gold 2022, All-Africa Games Gold 2024, and Olympic Bronze 2024, while he ran a personal best of 43.74 seconds. Samukonga has now shifted focus to the World Championship, where he is expected to be one of the top contenders. And that sports item brings us to the end of our main news today. But before we go, a quick recap on the top stories that made headlines. HH urges financial sector to back energy projects. Miss Chan Zambia 2025 finalists visit ICU on sponsorship tour. Chawama woman jailed 5 years for assaulting boy. In international news, Greece battles West Wildfire surge of the year as blazes erupt nationwide. In sports news, Samukonga claims 400-meter victory in Budapest ahead of World Championships. Thank you so much for watching. For more news updates, stay glued to our Facebook page at Icutv and our website at icutv.zm.com. Good night.